Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Kayla Joshua, and I am a financial services mentor, and I am the owner operator of Knowledge Solutions. And what I do is help small business owners who make under 500K learn how to leverage their business, scale their business, and make 100K in 90 days. And I'm coming to you guys live today to teach you how to establish business credit and to learn what business credit is all about. Give me 1 second. I'm working off of two different computers. But good evening. So, first and foremost, let's discuss what business credit actually is. So, business credit, just like personal credit, it shows companies and other lenders of your credit worthiness. It's showing that your business is eligible for lines of credit based on your history about your company. Now, business credit does vary very differently than personal credit. So, like for instance, with personal credit, if you have an inquiry on your credit report, that inquiry stays on your credit report for 2 years. Whereas with business credit, you can have a million inquiries and it won't affect your credit report whatsoever. They're more so concerned with your payment history. Personal credit score goes to 850 plus. Business credit, it's all based off your paydex score, and that goes to 100. So, those are just some differences about business credit versus personal credit. And so, I wanted to explain to you guys on how to establish business credit because a lot of people don't know. So, first and foremost, the first thing you want to do is you have to have an LLC. A lot of people think just because they have a EIN number that they're able to establish business credit, which is the farthest from the case. You do have to actually have an LLC or a corporation or S corp, some type of business structure. If you don't have a legit business structure, then you cannot establish business credit. So you just can't start getting business credit just because you have an EIN. That it doesn't work that way. It makes absolutely no sense. You have to have a legit business. It has to be recorded with the state that you reside in. So that's the first thing. First and foremost is actually having a business that you can utilize to have business credit. So that's the first step. Next, you want to have a DNB number, which is a Dun and Bradstreet number. That coupled with your EIN is kind of like your social for the business. That determines what type of business credit worthiness that you actually have. If you don't have a Dun and Bradstreet number, you don't have an EIN number, then you're not establishing that rapport. You're not establishing that business credit with the companies. So LLC, EIN number, and make sure you're already searching, of course, that no one else has that same business with IRS when you go to get that EIN number. And then you get your Dun and Bradstreet number. Once you have those things, another key part that people really don't realize in order to have business credit is you need to have a legit business account. Now, I know one of the first lives we went over, we'd established, the importance of not commingling funds, your personal funds mixed with your business funds. But you want to make sure you do that. And in order to establish business credit, you need that separate account. So having a business bank account is also needed in order to establish business credit. So LLC or S Corp or corporation, EIN, business bank account. Next, you want to start establishing accounts with different vendors. Now, though a lot of people start off with net 30 accounts, it's different tiers to business credit, just like it's different levels to business personal credit based off your personal credit score is different tiers. So, it's certain vendors that you can go to establish business credit. There's tier 1 vendors, tier 2, tier 3, etc. Business credit can go all the way up to tier 7, where you can basically buy a commercial building or a vehicle with your business credit. A lot of people right now are hopping into the the Airbnb industry, excuse me. And in order to have Airbnbs, you need to have an LLC. In order to get all the stuff you need for your Airbnb, like the furniture, things of that nature, you want to have business credit established. So that's another thing that you would need in order to have business credit. Does your personal credit affect your business credit at all? Actually, it does. So many people try to sell and offer business credit and say, oh no, your personal credit doesn't matter. You don't need personal credit. And that is absolutely the farthest from the case. I would suggest your personal credit score. If you want to get huge lines of business credit, your personal credit score needs to be at least a minimum of 640. You can establish business credit with terrible personal credit, but you will not, and I repeat, you will not receive large lines of business credit until your personal credit goes up. Now, once the business credit is established, really good, then you're to a point where you won't need your personal credit. If you see people say, I can give you business credit and you don't need a PG. A PG means personal guarantor. That means that they don't need your social security number to back this line of credit. But until you get to a place where you have excellent business credit, they're always going to ask for a PG. Now, there are ways around it. You can apply for business lines of credit with different vendors and tell them, look, under no circumstances, I want my personal credit pulled. Then they can do a manual application where they base it just off of your EIN number, paydex score, etc. So it is ways that you can do it without your personal credit, but it's a little bit harder process because like any business, businesses can fold. You can get an EIN number in a matter of 5 minutes, and the government and businesses know that. You can run up business credit and then dissolve the business. And if they don't have a personal guarantor on there, then they have no way to get their money back. So it's always good to have great personal credit when you're establishing your business credit. Once it's established, then you won't necessarily need to be a PG. You won't have to be basically a co-signer for your own business. So I was saying the different tiers. So my company does offer business credit, and we go through each tier. So we go at least from tier 1 to tier 4. And so certain vendors that you can go through that have, tier 1 credit, tier 2, etc. Where the trick comes in at with business credit is you have to make sure you're applying with companies that report to the business credit bureaus. Just like personal credit has Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, etc. Business credit has different credit bureaus they report to. They have Experian business credit. They have Equifax business credit. They have the Dun & Bradstreet. The Dun & Bradstreet will give you a grade from an A through an F. They have FICOs for small business owners. So they have their own set of credit bureaus that they have in order to see if you are credit worthy, if your business is credit worthy. So a lot of people say, well, I can build business credit on my own, and by all means, you absolutely can. I even have a business credit ebook that I have on Amazon, because if my company does it, we personally go through all the levels for you, make sure you get the correct vendors for the type of business that you have, and then, to make sure it's established properly. People a lot of times do the business credit on their own, and they're just applying for different lines of credit, and they're getting these items, and it's not reporting to anybody. People are just using them so that way they can get credit with their company, and that information isn't being reported. So you're wasting a lot of time, energy, and money. So that's why a lot of people pay people to establish the business credit for them, because they already been through the steps. They already been through the motions, so they know which vendors and creditors to use. Let me see here. As soon as you have your business bank account, you want to apply for a business credit card. Me personally, I don't care for big banks. I prefer credit unions. I did start my business bank account with a large bank because it's a little bit easier to start with them. And it's the same day I opened my business bank account, I opened up a business credit card, and they gave it to me instantly. Good evening. They gave me the business credit card instantly. So you want to always start building your business credit as soon as possible, as soon as you have that business bank account. And then just like personal credit, if you do have a business credit card, you want to use no more than the 30%, because if you go over the 30%, then your credit score will go down drastically. And another trick I usually don't disclose to people that aren't my clients, but I'm going to tell you guys as far as business credit goes. Once you have business credit and you start building it with the different vendors, you can, like I say, you purchase items. Once you purchase that item, pay it off within a week. It's going to instantly boost your credit score, your business credit super fast. So that's one good way to boost your business credit. You want to have a Paydex score of no less than 80. Is if you have a Paydex score of at least 80, you'll be pretty much able to get any type of business credit that you're looking for. Let me see here. I already went over the DUNS number. NAV is a good company to utilize to manage your business credit. They give you the Duns and Bradstreet score. They give you the Paydex score. They also even have your personal score on NAV. And then they have certain things you could purchase with them to boost your business credit super fast. And it's kind of pricey. Usually I decline it. And also too, Dun & Bradstreet numbers are free. Don't let anybody charge you for a Dun & Bradstreet number. Even when you go to get your Dun & Bradstreet number, they're going to try to upsell you on the business credit aspect of it. Now, if you choose to do it that way, that's fine if you want to. I think it's like $150 a month, but it's not necessary. So they try to pressure you. You could just say, no, thank you. I don't need it. I'm building business credit on my own. Because they will definitely try to upsell you when you do get the Dun & Bradstreet number, but it is absolutely free. You don't have to come out of pocket any money on your Dun & Bradstreet number. Hey, Jaleisha, I see she's watching. Let me see here. Hey, Scooey, Santa. All right, let me see what else. Hey, Janika. So, why is business credit itself needed? So, the main purpose of business credit is so you don't have to use your personal credit. That's the whole point. Now, people, like I said, a lot of people and say, oh, your personal credit doesn't matter. It does matter, especially when you're starting. Now, once the business credit is established properly, like I said, you get to a place where you don't have to use your personal credit. But think about it. If you establish your business credit correctly and the foundation is built solid from the beginning, then you can go out and get huge lines of credit. Just today, actually, I was approved for a line of credit using my business credit for over $60,000. Am I going to use it? Probably not, but it's good to have to build my business credit and to show credit worthiness. But say if I went and got a personal loan for $60,000, that's going to show on my personal credit report. This business loan is not going to show. So once that business loan is on the business credit, it doesn't affect your personal credit. So it's not going to bring down my debt to income ratio. So, anytime you're applying for any type of loan, a home loan, car loan, etc., any huge loan, they don't want your debt to income ratio to be over 40%. Even when you're applying to rent somewhere, if your income isn't enough to cover the rent, they're not going to rent to you. And we know we're currently in a crisis right now, whether people believe it or not. So it's really hard. So any loans you have, any debt out there, it affects your personal credit. But when you have that business loan and that business line of credit, no matter how much you spend, it's not going to affect your personal credit unless you default on that loan. And then they submit paperwork to go after you because you were the personal guarantor on that loan, if that was a situation for that. Hey, May. So that's very important when it comes to business credit. You want to make sure everything is established correctly. So speaking from experience, I personally had to work backwards. I got my LLC. Didn't have a virtual address or a physical address. Once I learned that I needed to have everything matching the same to establish business credit, had to change the address on the LLC. Then your address on your EIN number has to match the address on your LLC. The address on all your business credit things, loans, cards, etc., have to match to a T. If everything does not match, you're not going to get the huge lines of business credit. And I just can't stress that enough. So before you just jump into a LLC or an S Corp or corporation, make sure you research that business name. Make sure the address you're going to use is sufficient enough. Because if you have to go back and refix it, it's like you're reworking the wheel. You have to do everything backwards again. Does your personal credit affect your business credit when applying for a business loan? It depends on the lender. With the loan I just applied for, they did ask me for my personal credit, and it was approved for, like I said, a huge amount. But once again, that loan will not reflect on my personal credit. It won't reflect on there at all. But starting off, they will check your personal credit. So any of these people on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, learn how to get business credit and you won't have to pay anything. Your personal credit can suck. That's a lie, and the truth ain't in them. You want to have at least okay personal credit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least okay personal credit before you start to build business credit. Now, you can start without it being perfect, but don't expect huge lines of credit. Now, a reason a person, like I said, would establish business credit is, like I said, to separate yourself from the business, because that business can default, and then you don't want all of those liabilities to fall on you. For capital, even payroll. When the SBA loan was out and it was big and everybody was getting it, whether or not they were approved for it or not, you had to show proof that you had a legit business and it was established. But SBA has been doing loans years prior to the pandemic, and a lot of people don't know because they weren't privy and they weren't knowledgeable on business credit itself. Now, had we known, if you did have a legit business, you could have gotten an SBA loan to cover your payroll for your employees, things of that nature. That's a good thing, to have business credit for in case you can't afford it. ERC was used to cover things that your business weren't able to cover. So these are the things that business credit can help. You can get a house in your business name. You can get a car in your business name. You can purchase business equipment, lease equipment, all in your business name, as long as the business is set up correctly. What is okay credit? To me personally, I would say a minimum of 640. That's my personal opinion. Like I said, it could be less, but I would say a minimum of 640. Let me see. Is there any other questions? Oh, yeah, and I said the range is from 0 to 100, so you definitely want to be over 80. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. Give me 1 second. Hey, Candace. GE. I don't know what GE is, Cantrella. True. Good evening. Hey, Shantae. Hey, Veronica. Okay, so yeah, I think I covered everything unless you guys have any more questions about business credit. I could wait a couple of minutes, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, personal credit does matter. And I think that's mostly the question I've had tonight. Oh, my nose itching. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, Jesus. Nose itching so bad. Personal credit. So yeah, personal credit, Dun & Bradstreet number is free. Don't let anybody use you, manipulate you, screw you over. And also too, I don't know if you guys are aware, I do LLCs, and what my LLC comes with is of course, the actual LLC itself, no business license in particular for that state. Because some people, you might need a license to braid hair, you might need a license to do landscaping, so that's separate. But the LLC comes with the articles of incorporation, the Dun & Bradstreet number, the EIN number. It comes with a seal for your business. So anything you need to start building your business credit correctly, we give it to you. But where I failed at was not knowing that you needed to have a good business address first, which is either a brick and mortar. You don't want to use your home address if possible, and or use a virtual address. And you have to be careful with the virtual addresses you use as well, because certain places like iPostal, terrible. Don't use them, because when the company Googles the address, they want to see that it's an actual building. They don't want to see that it's your house or an apartment, because they still will approve you. But like I said, the lines of credit won't be as high because they know that it is a home business. So they take other business addresses more seriously. I'm going to have the DM. I have a million questions. I'm trying to get things moving. Okay, definitely. And you can schedule consultations with me as well pertaining to business credit. And I'm gonna drop my link for the ebook in here too, in case it's something you want to do on your own. But yeah, where I messed up at personally is not having the business address. I used my home address when I did my LLC. Not having the business phone number. They can tell if it's a Google number. They will give you low business credit approval rates. And they can tell if it's a regular cell phone number. I got a 1-800 number. Some companies that do free 1-800 numbers, actually. I had a 1-800 number. Even if you want to use the cell phone, contact your credit. I'm gonna say your credit. Your cell phone company. T-Mobile offers business phones. AT&T. All you do is give them your EIN number and your business address. You get approved for like 25 phones. You get better phones and better phone rates using your business than you do your personal, because in their mind they figure your business is going to have a lot of employees, so they're going to approve you for a lot. They're going to approve you for phones, tablets, etc. Now don't go getting it because you're approved for it, but I'm just letting you know that it's better when you use your EIN number. So before you even get the LLC, make sure you have a good address, good phone number, and a business email. My email that I use for my business starting off, not knowing any better, knowledgefinancialsolutions@gmail. Well, that's not a business email. It's a free email with Google. Business emails can be as cheap as $6 a month, so you have to, spend money to make money. You need to invest in yourself. So if you have a business email, that makes your business look better. It makes your business look more credible. So those three things right there alone, you need to make sure you have in order before you even do the LLC. Because if you do the LLC first, then you're gonna have to go back and change the address on all of those documents, even with the IRS, which is a headache. With the state that you're in, all of the information has to change and it all has to match, or else you won't be approved for good lines of business credit. Now, if you really don't need a lot of business credit, like myself, I'm in the service industry. I don't know. I need stamps to mail out credit repair letters, and tax returns. I need paper. I need a printer. I don't have a high overhead. I have the business address. So my overhead business phone isn't that high. But if you have a brick and mortar, you have a physical business, you have a lot of employees, you're going to need large lines of business credit. What makes a business email different from a personal email? The cost. Simply the cost and how it reads. So like I was saying, my email address that I had thinking it was a correct business email was knowledgefinancialsolutions@gmail.com. First and foremost, the email address is too long. That's going to turn somebody off immediately. But a business email will have it. You can look at it and tell. So like my business email is info@knowledgesolutions@gmail.com. knowledgesolutions.com. It doesn't even have the Gmail in it, doesn't have the Yahoo in it or anything like that. So you can look at a business email and say, hey, this is a legit business email, versus if you see @yahoo.com, @gmail.com, you know that that's not a paid email that somebody paid for. So they're not paying for email services. Like I said, and it's cheap. You can get a business email for $6 minimum. It's not a lot of money at all. Let me see. And any other questions? I got about 5 more minutes before I have to wrap it up. You can get a business email Google. You can get a business email with Ionis. You can get a business email with GoDaddy. It's so many different companies that offer business emails. Oh, I'm so glad I mentioned GoDaddy. So another good thing to have as well when building business credit is a domain. Now, say you don't even have a website, you can't afford a website, you can at least get a domain. A domain is like $10 or $12 for the whole year. So you don't want to wait on getting a domain, because a lot of people's going to ask you for your business website for them to view when you're applying for business credit. So my domain, I think, is joinkayla.com. No, that's not, I think, I know. It's joinkayla.com. And I linked it to my actual business website, which is knowledgefinancialsolutions.com. But instead of somebody having to type in knowledgefinancialsolutions.com, they just type in joinkayla.com. The URL takes them right to my business website. It's easier to remember, easier tagline. Get the domain ASAP. I'm pretty sure you spend $12 on fast food. Get the domain ASAP on GoDaddy. So when you're ready to actually have your business website, you already have a domain, you can connect to it, and no one else is, stealing your. It's people who buy domains just because they sound cool, and then somebody else comes up with a business with that name and they sell that domain to them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, you want this domain? You have to buy it from me. And they're not even using it. Like, they make a job out of purchasing domains just so they can flip them and sell them to other people. So if you have a business idea in mind, God gave it to you, you might as well start putting it in action. I don't care if you just get the EIN number and a domain, that's definitely going to help. All right, so I think that is it. If you have any questions, you can inbox me. You can go on my website at joinkayla.com and just let me know if you want to schedule a consultation about personal credit, business credit, taxes. Yes, we're still doing taxes all year long for those who still haven't filed as of yet. Oh, you're welcome. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and life insurance. I am a licensed life insurance agent since January. So definitely, and I'm learning so much about life insurance. That's a lot for a whole nother day. And it's just so sad though that we lack the knowledge and the tools to get to where we need to be. And other people have been doing it for so long and gaining so much money. It's ridiculous, like living off a certain type of policies. But needless to say, one step at a time. So I'll be done talk y'all to death all night. But thank you guys for joining in, and I really appreciate it. You guys have a nice night.